Hello everybody and welcome back to another exciting edition of Boyographic, the show in which I, Matt the Gameboy, talk you through the highs and lows of the Game Boy library, one cart at a time. This week we'll be looking at a sequel based on a French comic classic. It's Asterix and Obelix. Sequels to video games can be a mixed bag. Like any media, fans want more of the same. Critics want the creases ironed out, while developers want to evolve and, more importantly, make the best game they can with their time and budget. When a license is involved, the player is also assumed to be a fan of that property on which the game is based, adding an extra layer of complexity to the mix. All of these factors attribute, for better and for worse, to Asterix and Obelix. Yes, there is another title of goals on the Game Boy, once again developed by Spanish studio Bit Managers and published by Infogrames. Taking what the studio made in their previous Asterix game as a basis, Bit Managers were able to take René Goscinny and Alberto Uderzo's characters on a journey that better reflected the world originally published on the pages of Pilot magazine. Whereas the previous game's story was simply Go Save Obelix, in this title, both goals are freely available as playable characters. This allowed Bit Managers to dive deeper into the comics for level inspiration, meaning each world is based off an Asterix classic. Britannia is from Asterix in Britain, Helvetia from Asterix in Switzerland, Greece from Asterix at the Olympic Games, and Hispania from Asterix in Spain. Pretty self-explanatory. The story that ties them together is a pretty loose one. Essentially, Asterix and Obelix bet the rest of the Gauls they could travel around Europe and obtain one of Caesar's most valuable possessions in each of these locations. What they failed to realise at the time was this was going to be a long, tedious journey. But before we dive into the game, let's look at what it improves over the original. For a start, the basic problems with Asterix are greatly improved, if not completely eradicated, in this sequel. There is no issue of jump momentum present in the platforming, platforms aren't so difficult to land on, and for the most part, enemy placement isn't just a means of killing you dead. Visually, the game has got a huge facelift from the first game. And while some environments can look a little busy, it is definitely up there with one of the best looking games on the system. I'm being serious. It has this level of visuals, parallax scrolling, and almost no tearing. For a Game Boy game, that is an incredible feat. Bits decided on using a few more options for the controls in this outing. Now, a double tap on the D-pad will make your hero run, while holding B will let you do a charged swinging punch for extra damage. Also, your health bar isn't feathers anymore, but a full bar that can be replenished by eating local delicacies. However, it frustratingly does not refill once you beat a stage. With these visuals and control upgrades, how can Asterix and Obelix be anything but an amazing experience, I hear you cry? Well, and I say this with great pains, it certainly had the ingredients, but falls apart not from lack of trying, but perhaps more painfully from incredible ambition. The overall format of the game is very similar to the previous Asterix outing, in that there are 4 worlds with 4 to 5 levels apiece. Each of the world's objectives are briefed right at the start by a character from that respective story. However, other than telling you vaguely what you're about to do, they don't elaborate on how you're supposed to do it. The first of these 3 levels are your standard fare, platforming action that you would expect from playing the previous game. However, it's at this point Bits managed to shake up the gameplay in a questionable way. In Britannia, the 4th level is a jailbreak in the Tower of London, where our heroes must free the British rugby team. You do this by busting open doors by swinging the punch and then climbing the tower. It doesn't take long to figure out, but it's interesting the game doesn't tell you what to do. Once the players are free, you then need to participate in the rugby match, which sees you running towards the right of the screen and at the enemy's try-line, as the Roman players try to charge you down and tackle you, making you spill the ball as a result. This is what I really have issue with though. When you've got the controls so tight, why do you need to add an extremely frustrating sequence to the end of the world? It's not a boss fight, it's not platforming, it's just hoping you don't get hit from off-screen. Switzerland is even worse. You need to blow open safes. In a set order almost, certain barrels cannot blow up certain safes. Doing so resets the puzzle and you need to start over until all safes are blown up. and there is no indication as to which barrels do what. It's simply trial and error. This would be frustrating without the timer, but getting to the last save and the time running out is absolutely maddening. I wish I didn't have to say it, but it gets worse. I don't know about you, but I am absolutely terrible at button mashing sports titles. Well, if you're the same as me, you are going to despise Greece, as the Olympic Games are perhaps unsurprisingly a miniature version of track and field. You need to hammer the B button to run the 100 metres, do it again and press A to jump the hurdles, and hammer B to build up your speed before you throw a javelin with A. You need to do this 3 times per event, though fortunately you only have to win once. I won't even get into Spain's bullfight because it's more of the same button mashing nonsense that has my thumb blistered to death. In short, I feel bad for poo-pooing on innovation, but these implementations feel completely ill-fitted to a game like this as a means of progression. As a bonus round, sure, but as the game's bonus rounds are actually just more platforming, the mind boggles to think why Bits wanted this in the title as a means to get to the next level. Absolute worst thing about this title, however, is that there are no continues. You die 3 times and you start again. So, you shit at track and field. Well, you can platform through 15 levels to try it again. Didn't expect the game to fuck you over on its catapulting section? Back 17 levels for you, my good boy. Seriously, Bits, why? I mean, if that's the approach you're taking, at least be generous with your extra lives. I will give Bits some credit, however, as when this game was re-released for the Game Boy Color in 1999, they had the foresight to not only include a greater variety of language translations other than British and Spanish, but also to include a password system in order to carry on where you left off. Fortunately, by entering the following cheat on the title screen, you can access a level select in the options screen as well as adjust the difficulty. Then finally, I should mention the absolutely breathtaking work of Alberto Gonzalez, the shining light in this game. As I played this title, hoping it would eventually redeem itself, his score was so consistently brilliant that I would often let myself die from timeouts just so I could keep listening to it. He still composes, so be sure to follow him on Twitter at Alberto Macalbi and check out his SoundCloud in the description, where you can find the soundtracks to most of his spectacular game scores. All in all, Asterix and Obelix feels like such a shame. 70% of the game is brilliant, and the factors that let it down, other than the lack of continues, aren't that bad either. They just don't feel like they belong in this particular game. If you're looking for a game that improves upon the original Asterix, then you've found it. However, if you're not too sure about the button mashing and questionable puzzles, then it's perhaps best to stay away. This game seems to have been only released in very select territories for the original Game Boy, while the Game Boy Color version seems more readily available, though both are Europe only. If you're not a DMG diehard, then perhaps pick up the Color version instead. It not only fixes the game's biggest glaring issue, but is a lot easier to track down. And of course, just like last time, I hope this review will encourage some of you to check out the source material for the title, as while the game might be a little shaky, the Asterix books are definitely rock solid. And that brings us to the end of another Boyographic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please subscribe and encourage others you think may like the channel to do so. If you are a new viewer, then why not take this time to check out some more of our Boyographic videos, where I look at the highs and lows of the Game Boy library one card at a time, every Friday. You can also check out some Boy Curious videos where I look at bootlegs and oddities for the system, as well as some All the Glory videos where I cut out all the deaths, leaving you with none of the faff but all of the glory. Trust me, Asterix and Obelix will be appearing soon, because I honestly think some people will need help playing this game, so look forward to that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so at Gameboy, and I'm also on Facebook at facebook.com/Boyographic. Hopefully there will be some more updates coming in the next week, ladies and gentlemen, but until then, game on.